Biography of Barenziah, Volume 3, as read by Snowball the Dragon Cat, in the most dramatic way Snowball can, by Stern Gamboge, Imperial Scribe and Bullcrapper. And Brown Noser of Tiber Septum. You see, they're not written there, but they're invisible ink. In the second volume of this... What? Volume 3? In the second volume. Volume 3. Badly written, Bullcrapper! In the second volume, Volume 3, of this series, it was told how Barenziah was kindly welcomed. Oh, wait, no, he's talking about what's in the second volume. Okay. In the second volume of the series, it was told how Barenziah was kindly welcomed into the newly constructed imperial city by the Emperor Tiber Septim and his family. As a... I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Where did I leave off? Brain fart. It was told how Barenziah was kindly welcomed into the newly constructed imperial city by Emperor Tiber Septim and his family. He was pulling a quagmire on her, who treated her like a long-lost daughter, creepy, during her almost one-year stay, pedophile. After several happy months, they're learning her duties as vassal queen under the Empire. The Imperial General Semichus escorted her to Mournhold to marry her and have her pop out his kids, where she took up her duties as queen of her people. Under his wise guidance, gradually they came to love one another and were married and crowned in splendid ceremony, at which the emperor himself officiated. After several hundred years of marriage, a son, Helseth, was born to the royal couple amid celebration and joyous prayer. Although it was not publicly known at the time, it was shortly before the blessed event that the Staff of Chaos had been stolen from its holding place deep in Mournhold mines by a clever Oh, I just can't say that word right now. Enigmatic. As you can see, there's a syllable that does not want to come out of my mouth right there. Enigmatic. Got it. Bard, known only as the Nightingale. 8 years after Helseth's birth. Damn it. 8 years after Helseth's birth, Barenziah bore a daughter, Morgaiah, named after Simichus's mother, and the royal couple's joy seemed complete. Alas, shortly after that, relations with the Empire mysteriously deteriorated, leading to much civil unrest in Mournhold. After fruitless investigations and attempts at reconciliation, in despair, Barenziah took her young children and traveled to the imperial city herself to seek the ear of Emperor Uriel Septim the Seventh, the Nightingale, disguised as him. Simichus remained in Mournhold to deal with the grumbling peasants and annoyed nobility, and do what he could to stave off impending insurrection. During her audience with the Emperor, Barenziah, through her magical arts, came to realize, to her horror and dismay, that the so-called Emperor was an impostor. Wow, they actually knew that. None other than the bard Nightingale, who had stolen the Staff of Chaos. Exercising great self-control, she concealed this realization from him. That evening, news came that Simichus had fallen in battle with the revolting peasants of Mournhold, more like killed by the Empire, and that the kingdom had been taken over by the rebels. Barenziah at this point did not know where to seek help or from whom. The gods, that faithful night, were evidently looking out for her as if in redress of her loss. King Edware, the High of High Rock, an old friend of Uriel's septum and Simraptor, came by on a social call. He comforted her, pledged his friendship, and furthermore confirmed her suspicion that the Emperor was indeed a fraud, and none other than Jaeger Tharn, the Imperial battle mage, and one of the Nightingales. Snowball is a little confused on that. Many alter egos Tharn had supposedly retired into seclusion from the public work and installed his assistant, Rhea Silmain, in his stead. The hapless assistant was later put to death under mysterious circumstances. Supposedly a plot implicating her had been uncovered, and she had been summarily executed. However, her ghost had appeared to Edware in a dream and revealed to him that the true emperor had been kidnapped by Tharn and imprisoned in an alternate dimension. Tharn had then used the Staff of Chaos to kill her when she attempted to warn Elder Council of his nefarious plot. Together, Edware and Barenziah plotted to gain the false emperor's confidence. Meanwhile, another friend of Rhea's, known only as the Champion, who apparently possessed great, albeit then untapped, potential, was incarcerated at the Imperial dungeons. However, she had access to his dreams, and she told him to bide his time until she could devise a plan that would affect his escape. Lockpicks, then he could begin on his mission to unmask the imposter, stab him in the face. Barenziah continued to charm and eventually befriend Urstaz, Emperor, by contriving to read his secret diary. She learned that he had broken the Staff of Chaos into 8 pieces and hidden them in far-flung locations scattered across Tamriel. She managed to obtain a copy of the key to Rhea's friend's cell and bribed a guard to leave it there as if by accident. Their champion, whose name was unknown even to Barenziah and Edware, made his escape through a shift gate Rhea had opened in an obscure corner of the Imperial dungeons. Using her already failing powers, the champion was free at last, and almost immediately went to work. It took Barenziah several more months to learn the hiding places of all 8 staff pieces, through snatches of overheard conversation and rare glances at Tharn's diary. Once she had the vital information, Once she had the vital information, however, which she communicated to Rhea forthwith, who in turn passed it on to the champion, she and Edware lost no time. They fled to Wayrest, his ancestral kingdom in the province of High Rock, where they managed to fend off the sporadic efforts of Tharn's henchmen to haul them back to the Imperial City. Tharn's henchmen tried to haul him back to the Imperial City. Why? Or at the very least obtain revenge. Tharn, whatever else might be said of him, was no one's fool, save perhaps Barenziah's, and he concentrated most of his efforts towards tracking down and destroying the champion. As all now know, the courageous, indefatigable defag defective def poop. Indefeata. Why is there a G in that? Indefeatable and forever nameless champion was successful in reuniting the 8 sundered pieces of the Staff of Chaos with it. He destroyed Tharn and rescued the true Emperor, Uriel Septim VII. Following what has come to be known as the Restoration, a grand state memorial service was held for Simraptor at the imperial city, befitting the man who had served the Septim dynasty for so long and so well. Barenziah and good King Edward had come to care deeply for one another during their trials and adventures, and were married the same year, shortly after their flight from the imperial city. Her 2 children from her previous marriage with Simraptor remained with her, and a regent was appointed to rule Mournhold in her absence. Up to the present time, Queen Barenziah has been in Wayrest with Prince Helseth and Princess Morgaya. She plans to return to Mournhold after Edward's death, since he was already elderly when they wed. She knows that event, alas, could not be far off, as elves reckon time. Could not be far off as elves reckon time. That's clearly a K. Until then, she shares in the government of the kingdom of Wayrest with her husband, and seems glad and content with her finally quiet and happily unremarkable life. Does that mean High Rock and Mournhold? No. Does that mean the 2 kingdoms united? Because they were technically married. So that would mean they were ruled by the same king and queen. Thus, they were united kingdoms. But they were already united with the Empire. Blasting. Snowball's tired of all these stupid kings and queens. That's the 3rd one. Biography of Barenziah. Probably bullcrap, although that last bit seemed like it could be true. Snowball's not sure. This happened long before Snowball was even a little kitten. Well, have a good day. Bye-bye.